is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Big Ten champions.
National champions, yes. The Ducks take home an indoor national title.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Thursday inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano with you in studio ahead of a postseason on the diamond this weekend for both Oregon softball and Oregon baseball. Oregon softball met with the media yesterday. We'll hear from Coach Lombardi coming up very shortly. We'll also hear from Coach Wasikowski ahead of Oregon baseball and their Big Ten tournament opener against Michigan State today. Now, when we left the show yesterday, this game was scheduled for 4 o'clock today. It is not at 4 o'clock today. It is at 3 o'clock today. Some changes in the Big Ten tournament mean that all of the start times for Thursday's games get pushed forward by an hour. What that means, Joey Mack will take air from Omaha on the Oregon Sports Network at 2:45 Pacific time, and first pitch will be at approximately 3 o'clock Pacific time for Oregon against Michigan State in the first game of the Big Ten tournament. Tomorrow, the schedule has not changed for Oregon, or at least that hasn't been announced yet that there's been a schedule change. Still expecting for Oregon to play Nebraska tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific and 3:45 for Joey to take air on the pregame show. The game today against Michigan State 0-1 in the Big Ten tournament, doesn't necessarily have an impact on if Oregon moves forward in the Big Ten tournament, but it does have a significant impact on Oregon's resume and their RPI as the Ducks are continuing to try to position themselves for a spot in the top 16 to host a regional and potentially even top 8 national seeds to host a super regional. Oregon's got to take care of business throughout the course of the weekend if they want to position themselves as one of the top 8 teams in the country. Oregon softball positioned themselves in a spot where the Ducks can host a super regional as Oregon beat Stanford as well as Weber State and Binghamton in the regional round last weekend, and because Liberty went and upset the number 1 national overall seed in Texas A&M, Liberty will make the trip to Eugene coming up this weekend. Starting tomorrow at 7 o'clock, that's game 1 of the Super Regional at Jane Sanders Stadium, and then 4 o'clock on Saturday is game 2. There will be an if necessary game 3 if the teams split the first 2 games. Yesterday, Coach Lombardi, as well as a few student athletes, spoke with the media previewing this Super Regional, also reviewing what was a dramatic and yet successful weekend for Oregon softball. Coach Lombardi in her conversation with the media yesterday.
So now that you've had a couple days to kind of process what happened this past weekend, just, how do you, in your words, how do you sum up what happened over the weekend, and just, how excited are you guys to come out here again and just be able to play in front of your home fans?
Just watching the grit, them being relentless, refusing to get, like they were going to get what they wanted. I think going next level, we've been talking about having another gear, and I think you saw that on Sunday, and it was a required gear. So just excited for them to get what they wanted to get.
When you woke up Monday morning, did you at all have to pinch yourself, be like, yeah, this is real? We walked off at Jane Sanders regional elimination game, and just kind of what were those hours like afterwards when, everything was kind of said and done for you when you went back home?
Yeah, I was pretty calm after, because it's just like the storm was, in that doubleheader. So just to sit back and get to reflect a little bit, and just thinking about what this group looked like at the beginning of the year. And we knew they were special. and then just seeing them throughout the year just grow and grow and grow and stumble and grow, win big and grow, throughout the year. For us to lose that driver's seat game, for them to understand how to go about it and that it doesn't always have to look a certain way to win. Once they figured that out, I don't know, I felt really good about them and what they were going to do.
Yeah, you said you've been kind of waiting for that to click for them.
Yep.
As you looked back on, at any point Sunday, was there a point you say, okay, that's when I saw like that spark in someone's eye, or that's when like the belief really was fostered for whatever reason?
I just think the miscues we had in the first inning of the first game and how they handled it, and I'm like, this group's got to figure it out. Think about the miscues that we had in this first inning of the second game, and I'm like, this group's got it. I was talking to one of these guys earlier, and I'm like, the second game, we were down the entire game, but it didn't feel like that. It didn't even feel like that. Where earlier in the year, there'd be times when we are down and the clock is ticking, innings are just going away, things are really fast, and it did not feel like we were down. And just you could feel from this group that we were going to figure it out.
Did even the Michigan game feel like that?
The
tournament game?
The innings were ticking. Yeah, no, their mindset wasn't where it needed to be for that game. Yeah.
Well, 1 week later.
Yeah.
They found it.
Yeah, they did.
How do you change that? Is it just something that they have to decide and have grown now in the postseason to do?
Yeah.
Or how do you feel like, because it happened pretty fast, and maybe they did have it in some weeks before the Big Ten tournament in games where they were able to come back, but like, how do you learn from that? Because obviously, I don't think any player wants to have that,
Sure.
Mindset, but how do you coach that?
That's something that we've been talking about all year, and we've had times, game 2 against Michigan, we were down and we found a way to come back. And then you look at another game where we were down and we didn't come back. And so this is something that we've been talking about throughout the year, understanding that it doesn't matter how it looks, it just matters that you're going to get it done. And experience. You think of all the experiences that we've had through this year, a lot of really good experiences that didn't go our way. Like, to me, that's what allows them to get to Sunday and to be able to take it up a notch.
Building off of that, just how crucial is the experience now, the freshmen in your lineup that have come in big moments and had, some learning moments this past weekend in regionals? Like, how crucial was them to have that experience about the NCAA postseason, heading into now the most important series of the season thus far?
Really good. I think of all the innings that our freshmen have played this year, and they've just been a part of their growth. And them needing those innings, needing those different situations to be able to continue to handle what was going to be coming at them through the rest of the season. So I think they're in a good place. This team is united. They're excited. They're excited to get to play at home again. That's what we wanted at the beginning of the year. We wanted to win a Big Ten, and we wanted to host regionals. We wanted to host super regionals. So to be here at the Jane one more weekend, we can't wait to get started.
It was asked earlier to one of the players, but Liberty's a really good team. They're up and down, lineup, competitive, very similar. What do you think the X factor is going to be in this series?
Yeah, I think it's just us sticking to our process. That's what we've done all year long. Understanding that you've got to be really good with what you do in all 3 cylinders, and you got to be timely with what you do as well. But I think just them sticking to who they are and how they're going about things. That's what I feel like it's going to take.
When you face a team like Liberty, right now you don't have much experience. Obviously, against them, all you can do is watch film. But there are a couple players in Dorr and in Watley that you did see when they were at Oregon State. Does that help out at all, even though it's been a full year since maybe you've seen them actually in the circle and the plate? And are there any advantages that you can take when you know at least a little bit about some of the players you may be facing at the plate in a couple days?
Yeah, sure. I think any information, any time that you can play against them, it helps with your preparation.
Does you have an update on Riley at all? I know her social media post, Stephanie talked about just the text that she sent her after that to make sure, knowing that she was okay, but do you have an update with her and if she'll be able to play in the first game or at all during the weekend?
Yeah, we're just with her right now taking it day to day, so I don't have an update. That's the way we want to go about it. I mean, obviously, for her to play. We would love that, but right now we're just taking it day to day. So I don't have an update. I don't have an update.
Do we have any update on like the type of injury? What exactly? Because obviously play happens so fast.
Yeah.
You can share in that at least.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think that's something when it comes time and she wants to share, she can. I don't think I'm the one to do that.
Were you just wondering in that moment, just what was it like watching as a coach? Because, you know, looking above, we could see obviously blood come down. Yeah. We weren't sure how fast. Just as a coach, what were the first thoughts going in your mind? And just when you went over to her to talk with her, just what was that situation like for you?
For her, just to, like, what I wanted was for her just to stay calm. And I thought Kate did an unbelievable job with that. And for her just to stay calm and know that we're here to help her. I think what was really important is for her to physically get up on her feet and walk away. I think that's what our team needed to see, us as coaches needed to see, our fans, you know, just for her to physically get up and walk away. So I was happy to see that. I thought she handled the situation unbelievably. And then from there, you could see her team just absolutely have her back the rest of the way.
And kind of speaking on that, I mean, again, you knew that the team was going to obviously support her and have her back, but to watch how invested the fans got in her, and obviously they've been watching her season grow, do you feel like that was kind of a special moment for you to be able to watch, and again, you almost kind of see that hopefully carry on this weekend as well as they continue to cheer and support her and obviously wish for her to get back onto the field as soon as possible?
Yeah, she's great. Riley's just such an amazing person. I mean, we all know how great of a softball player she is, but like for me and for her teammates, we get to, you know, we get a day to day. We get to see her and be around her, and she's just so beyond her years. You would not think she's a freshman. She's just, I don't know. It's just she's just a really, she's just such a great person. She's so humble. She's a really good friend, a really good teammate. She works extremely hard. You know, I hate to see that happen to her or anybody. I hate when people get hurt. I just hate it. But how she handled it just shows you who Riley is, I guess. You know what I mean? Sometimes in your toughest moments, you get to really just see people's character and see how they handle things. And I felt like, gosh, we already know who she is, but then you got to see even more with just how she handled it and how much this group just loves her. So we are excited for her to get healthy and to keep moving forward so we can get her back in the lineup.
Off of that, just really quick, kind of that crisis situation, but is there a level of comfort that you have knowing that Kate is the one, I mean, in a crisis, she really is kind of level-headed, cool. I mean, you've seen it the last 2 years where you've had these big moments, but she kind of takes everything and takes that strain away from you as a coach. For sure. No, we are very thankful for Kate. Kate is unbelievable. You know, your team's going to react as you react. You know, chaos breeds chaos, calm breeds calm. So I think it's important that when there are situations like that as a staff, as coaches, that we can stay calm because they're going to, you know, follow our lead. And I thought they handled it. You could see they were shaken up. Nobody likes to see their teammate get hurt. So I just thought she handled it well. Our teammates handled it well. Kate and the procedures to go along with it, she was fantastic, and I love that she's our trainer.
It was a resilient weekend for Oregon softball to get through Stanford. That was Coach Lombardi reviewing the regional weekend, the successful regional weekend for Oregon, and now the advancement to the Super Regionals to play Liberty coming up tomorrow, then Saturday, and maybe on Sunday if necessary. That interview brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center, Better Cancer Care, close to home. It's going to be another fun weekend at the Jane, another weekend of championships. We're taking a break on Duck Insider, coming back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
We're back inside the Country Financial Studio on Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano with you. And last weekend I deemed as the weekend of championships because Oregon Women's Golf was at the NCAA Championships. Oregon Track and Field was hosting the Big Ten Championships. Oregon Baseball secured themselves a regular season Big Ten Championship, as well as Oregon Softball taking home a regional championship. Well, I really should have deemed it the week of champions because at the beginning of the week, the WNBA champions were in town in the New York Liberty, and some Oregon legends in Sabrina Ionescu and Niara Sabally were back in Eugene to play at Matthew Knight Arena. Now, with how busy of a week that we had last week with so many championships going on, we never actually had the opportunity to get to the post game of that game. And I think it's still really important, the reactions for both of those great Oregon former student athletes to tell their experience of being back in Eugene, why it was important to come back, and what it meant to be back in Eugene. So we still have the post game from last Monday when Oregon was the host site for the exhibition game of the New York Liberty versus the Tueda Antelopes when Sabrina Ionescu and Niara Sabally were in town. And I think that getting some legends back in Eugene, it's always great to hear from them. And on the week of champions last week, well, two WNBA champions were in Matthew Knight Arena, finally getting to the post game with two Oregon greats talking about how great it was to be back in Matthew Knight Arena. Here is the post game with Sabrina Ionescu, Niara Sabally, and Coach Graves even makes an appearance.
When it came to returning to Oregon, obviously there was a lot of talk about what could have been when it came to that 2020 season. So how did everything that you were able to soak in tonight allow you to get some closure, some healthy closure?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was amazing to be able to come back, and, you know, it's something I've always dreamed about every time I've come back. As an alumni watching games here, just to be able to take the court one more time, and obviously never thought that that would be something that I would be able to do, and just knowing that I've got the chance to kind of come back at Matt Knight and kind of continue to leave an impact in this community, and just thankful for the fans that have shown me so much love throughout my career. And this was just a thank you. This wasn't, you know, any type of celebration for me. I think it was just me wanting to celebrate the University of Oregon and what it's done for me in my career.
I appreciate that. And Niara, for you, how do you think you're a different player now than who you were when you last played here?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm
all in all, like, the same type of player. Obviously, I've gotten better in, like, different aspects of my game, and just more of a confident player. But, I mean, it really is only my, now third season out of college. So I feel like I still have a long way to go, obviously. But, yeah, I think I want to say I'm more of a just confident player. And, I mean, my teammates make it also really easy for me. So that helps.
Hey, Zach, caught fire in that second half. Can you just take us through what you were thinking on that logo three that you hit?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really realize how far I was. But I think just playing into the energy and, you know, the arena, and figured I might as well shoot one like I used to back when I was here. And, you know, thankful it went in and the crowd erupted. But it was fun. I mean, my teammates kind of sacrificed a lot for me and Niara here, you know, just knowing how much it means for the both of us to come back. And they were bought in this entire weekend, and to be able to have a team that's so committed to just seeing us happy is why we're so connected, and, you know, why we're thankful to be a part of this team.
You've created so many of the great moments here, and for a lot of people in attendance, particularly those the age of the young one in your lap there, two of the biggest will be the national game and tonight. And yet those were exhibitions that don't, quote-unquote, count towards something. This is almost Pollyanna, but what meaning do you find in those moments that they didn't count towards a win somewhere? They're not in a record book, but yet they mean a lot when there's the first sellout since you were last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just understanding the footprint and the legacy that you can leave in a community. And, you know, both of us have been a part of that. You know, both of us were able to be here during that time when we played Team USA and won here in front of a sellout crowd, and now being able to be here tonight, come back and play at the University of Oregon, a university that has helped us get to where we're at. And a huge part of that is the community, and being able to see so many young kids in attendance that I watched grow up. Like, I watched them be the ball boy and girl. I watched them show up, be in the stands, and now they're continuing to get taller and taller and are playing high school here and are coming to my camps, and I've just been able to watch them grow up. And I think that's what makes Oregon so special, is the community and the relationships that you're able to build here. And for us to be on that kind of side of history and continue to come back and give back, and understanding how important it is for us to be Ducks, is why we're here today.
While you got to be a part of and see those experiences and all 5 of the prior sellouts here when y'all were here, you didn't get to be on the court for them. And you had the COVID year, but you had a couple of fine moments in your season with fans. You had the UConn game where you beat up on them, and you had the Arizona game before that. But where does tonight rank in terms of the games that you played in this building and actually got to experience on the court as a player?
Yeah, I mean, it ranks pretty high. Obviously, this is a very special moment. For me, it's a separate category. I don't really, it's like, because this is like with a whole different team. But it ranks pretty high, just being able to come back here and experience that with the crowd, and obviously this team means a lot.
Sabrina, there were 12,000 people here, which is something that hasn't happened a whole lot since you've left, and I know you were expecting that in one way, but when you get to the game and that crowd is cheering you from the time that you start warming up to the time that you leave the court, what does that sound like, and what sort of impact does that make on you?
I mean, you know, I would say I was kind of surprised. Like, I had a feeling that when we were talking about this, I knew people would show up for Niara and I. That's just what Ducks do, is they continue to just believe and support you throughout your career. I just had no idea that this would be a sellout, and that so many people have been talking about showing up, and the buzz around the city the last few weeks about this game. And you know, I feel like I got emotional when they played the you know, before the game, the buzzer went off, and I just kind of started looking around the arena and saw every single seat taken, and you know, I kind of was looking at all the areas that I used to when I sat there getting ready for an Oregon game, and I kind of got teary-eyed, and I was like, all right, I got to lock back in. The game's about to start. But this is something in my career that I will never forget, is being able to come back and play a game at the University of Oregon.
Just curious on your kind of observations of where the University of Oregon program is at right now, and kind of what you've seen them building towards, and maybe your response to the return of the NCAA tournament this last spring.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to be able to see that no player is transferred and comes back, and I think it's super important to continue to just build, what we have here, and to see the investment, in women's basketball. I saw the team here tonight, and I hope this continues to just motivate them to kind of want to be like us, to be able to continue to just immerse themselves in this community, because everyone is just in love with the women's basketball program. And with you as an individual, if you buy in and give it your all every single time you step out there, and be your best basketball player, but also just be a great person in the community. And I hope that this inspired them to want to be that as well.
Yeah, Sabrina, I know shoot around, you said you were looking forward to Shout, and you come right out after Shout and hit those 3-pointers right to start the fourth quarter and score 11 in the fourth quarter. Did that rile you up? Did it kind of bring you back a little bit to your Oregon days, kind of getting that Shout thing and get you ready for that fourth quarter?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we were talking about it before in the R&I, how excited we were to be able to hear it again. There's nothing quite like the energy in the arena when Shout goes on, and it kind of reels you back into being like, it's go time. It's time to lock in, and that's kind of why I smiled right after I hit that shot, because it's just kind of reminiscent to how it was when I was in college here and that song played. But Shout is Oregon, and I think anytime you hear that and you see the crowd react and does what they do, it just kind of reminds you of the importance of being a Duck.
Just a Liberty question. You guys obviously made a lot of strides from Friday's game to this one. It seemed like the ball was moving better and just overall better flow, especially with Stewie back. Just want to know how you feel about the team and where you guys are at, being 5-6 days away from the season opener.
Yeah, I think we're right where we want to be. Being able to continue to build chemistry with one another, continue to grow, take these games as a moment to kind of lock in and figure out what we want to continue to get better at, and I think we did that tonight.
That was part one of the conversation with Sabrina Ionescu and Yara Sabally as part of the New York Liberty. Played their final preseason game in Matthew Knight Arena. Now are 1-0 on the season in the WNBA. We're getting to part two of the conversation of two Oregon women's basketball legends that were back in town last week when we return on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle.
Or forget extra diapers.
You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano with you on a Thursday, continuing to revisit the women's basketball game that featured Sabrina Ionescu and Yara Sabli at Matthew Knight Arena in a tremendous atmosphere last week. And they certainly mean a lot to this Oregon program, and it's certain that the Oregon program means a lot to them. It was super cool to see them back at Matthew Knight Arena. Part 2 of the conversation with Sabrina Ionescu and Yara Sabli, and also Kelly Graves. Here it is.
Here tonight, and the support that women's basketball has traditionally gotten in the state of Oregon. How exciting is it for you, and what does it say about the growth of women's basketball that the WNBA is coming back to Portland?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited. Understanding the fan base that is built here in Eugene, but in Oregon as a whole, and knowing they're going to come out and support, and, knowing us kind of being from here, having played, and, knowing that fans are going to travel a lot. There's a lot of Duck fans in Portland, and so super excited to see how they support that team there, but also how they support us every time we come and play.
Question for both of you. In your hats as Olympians, obviously at the University of Oregon, Eugene, known as Factown USA, what does it mean to you to enhance the legacy of Eugene and of the University of Oregon in the Olympic movement for basketball, including for a gold medal?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important. I think it's great to have people that played in the Olympics, obviously in basketball. Sab, I played in the Olympics. Satu, who is not here right now, but played in the Olympics as well. I think it's really amazing because it's such a big event, and I feel like it's such a significant thing as an athlete. That's something you work towards your whole life. Being able to have that in basketball is amazing. I mean, that's and obviously they won. We didn't do too bad for our first Olympics ever, but maybe next time. Maybe next time in LA.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great opportunity to be able to represent yourself, your country, and tell a little bit of your story. There was other Ducks that were also in the Olympics, so it was really fun to be able to kind of all come together and share that moment as individuals, but as a university as well.
Kelly, coincidentally, this kind of relates, but there's been a lot of question from fans over the years since you guys have left about perhaps making things a little bit more permanent around the building or outside the building to commemorate each of you and your fellow former pros, whether that be a statue or number retirement or the like. What would each of you like to see eventually, particularly you, Sab, but also Yara? Yes, there's not that many pros out of the program, so what would you like to see and when on that front? And Kelly, when might that happen?
I got this
What
one.
do you want, Yara?
I think Sab needs a statue. But that's
No, what do you want for yourself?
I think Sab needs a statue. I already told her this. I think she needs puddles, but with her head. We talked about it this morning.
So
Is
she
this
wants me
even
to
on?
be an animal. She wants me to be an animal.
I think that'd be great. He can have your shoes on though.
Okay, I like
So
that.
it's your head, puddles, but not his feet. It's your
It's
feet.
mine? Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Couldn't look worse than
I mean, no, I'm fine either way. I understand the kind of legacy that I've left here. My teammates have left, especially us that are in the pros. And I'm just thankful for everything the university has done for me and supported me. I'm not that type of person that sits up here and demands something. This university has given me much more than I could ever repay it, and so I'm forever thankful for that.
Oh, I assume it's come at some point. It's above my pay grade, though. I'm not paid to make those kind of decisions, but it was pretty special to watch these two here tonight. That was neat. That's the legacy they left. I mean, a statue's nice, but they left themselves in the hearts of Ducks everywhere. I mean, you saw it tonight, and that was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Kelly, you're looking tan. Just wanted to ask you.
Okay. Thank you.
I think he likes your tan. You
Yeah.
might want.
I've actually been working, so okay. If you've seen my golf game, you know what work it looks like.
Obviously, this was a celebration of these two up here, but also did it feel to you like an opportunity to kind of honor the 2020 team and the greatness that they were able to showcase?
Yeah, I thought that was why this game was really important in some ways. Sabrina in particular, I mean, Niar was on that team in 2020 but didn't play on that group. she never got any closure here. We before the NCAA tournaments, started, the tournament was, I guess, how would you put it? We didn't do it. Canceled. That's a good way to put it. But she would have had 2 home games, and there would have been a bit of closure. She would have known this is my last game at Matthew Knight Arena, and she just never got that opportunity. So that's why I thought this was really cool to do. And then, just to be able to honor these 2. Niara wasn't here as long as Sabrina in terms of her playing on the court, but she was really special. She was a great player and bridged. She was part of the bridge between that group and the program now. So we owe a lot to both of them. It was pretty neat. I got emotional a couple times tonight. It was really cool to see. And they talked about the Olympics, and I was at that game, Germany versus USA. And Sabrina let me know she was not happy that I was on the second row behind the German bench. So, but there were 2 Germans in the game and only 1 American that I knew. So,
Coach, for you, obviously, you coached, Sav and Yara for years in the past, but unless I'm mistaken, I think this is the first time they played at Matthew Knight Arena where you and then the coach on the sideline with them. Just what was that like for you, not being on the sideline but enjoying it as a fan, and for Sav and for Yara? Were there times that you guys felt like, Coach was just right there with you still on the sidelines, just like it was 5 and 3 years ago today?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed being a spectator. No heat on me. I was up there watching, and I actually was grateful that the other team was game tonight. They made it at least a competitive game, but it actually brought back memories of the night we beat Team USA here. And that's what I thought a couple of times during that game, especially when Sabrina went off after shout. Did you know that? You went up, scored 11 in a row after shout. Did you know that?
Someone just told me.
Oh, somebody? All right. So I should be a writer too. But anyway, no, it was just a great evening. Really, really, really special.
I did miss hearing you yelling.
I was yelling.
Well, I didn't hear it
No.
at me.
So the question for both of you guys, what was the impression of playing against a Japanese team, and then anyone caught your attention?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think every single individual that played as hard as they could, and we battled. Like, it was a close game the entire time, and hats off to them. I think they could have come in and understood, they weren't supposed to win, and they didn't. They battled the entire game. They were shooting the ball really well. They were rebounding better than us, and they did a lot of things that exposed us that we're going to probably have to go back and watch film on how we can be better. And so I would say hats off to them for coming out here and making us better, and also being a part of this. Like, I'm super thankful that they wanted to be able to come here to Eugene and play. Weren't many teams that wanted to play us, and thankfully for them, like, my dream came true to be able to come here and play in Eugene. So I'm forever thankful for the fact that they kind of made the trek all the way out here and competed and played against us.
It felt like a dream come true at Matthew Knight Arena over the course of last week when we got to see the Liberty in town. We got to see Sabrina and Niara back, and it was rocking in Matthew Knight Arena. I think the 2 times that I've seen Matthew Knight Arena the most full since when I first showed up as a student here was back in 2019 when Sabrina Ionescu and that Oregon team played against Team USA. I mean, that was shoulder to shoulder. You could not find standing room in the building that night. And then last week at Matthew Knight Arena when Sabrina and Niara came back. I mean, that was one heck of an atmosphere. And when Sabrina made the deep logo 3 and then came out after the timeout for that ovation, that was cool. That's going to be a moment that I'll remember for a pretty long time for Oregon women's basketball and for them as they were able to get their closure that Coach Graves was talking about with the New York Liberty returning for the exhibition game and now into the beginning of their WNBA season as we continue to cheer on the New York Liberty as they try to repeat as WNBA champions. Oregon is trying to repeat as Big Ten champions from the regular season to the tournament, because Oregon baseball opens up their Big Ten tournament play coming up in a little more than an hour from now. Waz is going to preview the matchup against Michigan State when we return after this on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
With a great selection of new Toyotas, everyone knows your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer, even your pet parrot.
Right, the summer starts here.
Well said.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 2nd.
Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
With a great selection of new Toyotas, everyone knows your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer, even your pet parrot.
Right, the summer starts here.
Well said.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 2nd.
Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces. When I first saw him, it was a whole range of emotions. There's stuff I still want to do. Being a young dad, it's not giving up, it's shifting. I looked through his eyes, I can envision the whole future with him already. To throw the first football to him, give him ice cream for the first time. My life is now devoted to his life.
Through all of fatherhood's firsts, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
We're back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you as the Ducks on the baseball diamond are preparing to play in their first Big Ten tournament game against Michigan State. Now, when we left air yesterday, it was a 4 o'clock game. Now it's a 3 o'clock game. Some changes in the schedule of the Big Ten tournament due to some expected inclement weather means that Oregon will play an hour earlier than expected, which means Joey Mack takes air on the Oregon Sports Network coming up in an hour and 3 minutes for the pregame show as the Ducks start off their tournament play in postseason play for the Big Ten tournament against Michigan State. Now, earlier today, Joey Mackey caught up with Coach Wazakowski. This will be the Toyota Coach's Corner on the pregame broadcast today, but also Waz previewing the matchup against Michigan State as well as reviewing a Big Ten championship and also Big Ten Coach of the Year honors. It's the first time we're getting to hear from Coach Wazakowski since he took home those Big Ten Coach of the Year honors. The conversation with Joey Mack and Coach Wazakowski from earlier today.
Back in Omaha, postseason baseball. I'm Joey Mack, sitting down with Oregon baseball head coach Mark Wazakowski, the Coach of the Year in the Big Ten Conference. Waz, congratulations on that. How are you doing this morning?
I'm okay. Thanks, Joey. And I want to first off, it's Marcus Leiden's birthday today. Lido, hey, happy birthday. Runs a hitting facility on the west side of town that, you know, if young guys haven't been there, you need to get in there and go see Coach Leiden. He's the best. So happy birthday, Lido, and thank you so much, Joey.
You know, I know that you have said publicly, like, you wanted this to be a recognition for your staff, and I wanted to give you a chance to talk about your staff a little bit, Waz. Staff of the Year in the Big Ten.
I feel that way strongly, and it's very obvious why. You know, when you have the staff that I have, and you have Jack Martyr, Blake Hawksworth, Brett Thomas, Marcus Hinkle right there. Those are immediate staff guys, and the other guys that are supposedly not immediate staff guys with Gavin Grant, Sean Harling. I mean, those guys are immediate as well. You know, Tim Cisnera. Those guys are big-time members of what we're doing. Daryl Hunter. Everything that we do, it all counts, right? And everybody has their little role, their little piece in this thing, And we embrace the fact that that's all we have. We just have a little piece of it, and if you don't do your little piece, it doesn't work. If you do it, then great, you're doing what you're supposed to do, and that includes me. And so when they give me a great honor, that's really a staff honor, because without the other pieces, there's no honor coming for me. And so I wish I got $1 million payday for Coach of the Year. I don't get any kind of bonus or anything, but I tell you what the bonus is. It really is a recognition of a staff that's worked their tail off and deserves this, and I absolutely love my guys. And thank you so much for all your hard work and effort, and even all the people behind the scenes, the interns, the girls behind the scenes. It really is something that is humbling, and I thank you all. We've been very, very, very blessed.
And similarly, you got good players, Waz. You had 5 on the first team. You get a double-digit recognition number from the conference, and it's nice to have that, I'd imagine, at the end of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, that means you got a really good team when you got a bunch of people and you got the most on the first team and or the all-tournament team, or not the all-tournament team yet, but whatever, the all-conference teams. I don't really get all that stuff and how they vote for it. I don't really know how they get this conference tournament lined up with how the games are played and all that. I really am just a baseball coach that just wants to be able to teach young people how to help themselves in life and win games. And we've had a really good run right now this year. I really thought that there were some guys that could have been rewarded a little bit higher, specifically Grayson Grensel, who's did not win Conference Pitcher of the Year. I would have loved to have seen that happen, but I'm sure everybody could get grumbly about how they had a guy or whatever. Bottom line is we've been blessed, and I'm very, very grateful.
And now you've won 10 in a row, Waz, heading into postseason. So how about just the start of a new season? It kind of is that when you get to the postseason, isn't it? It feels like a new season. How do you assess the regular season for your ball club now heading into postseason?
Regular season was really good, right? Going into the postseason, this tournament, we're ranked in the top 5 basically in every major poll. If the gurus are accurate, and I don't know what the gurus really know, but if they're accurate, then we should feel good about our hosting chances and maybe even a national seed chance. With that said, I don't believe any of them, and it's time to win. And for me, I don't really pay much attention to all that stuff. I think it's great. It sounds like we're making progress as a program. And, for me now it's time to get back on that field, because that's really where you start earning stuff and you start proving it. And that's what we've done. We've earned all the things that we're getting, the accolades. We've just gone out there and earned them, and that's what feels good about it.
You're coming off a conference title, Waz. Had to win 3 at Iowa. You got that done, a chance to celebrate that with your team, and now building up to this tournament for the last few days. Take fans through the last few days if you could, just the practice, getting ready here in Omaha.
Yeah, it was Saturday, celebrate championship, right, on Iowa's field there. That was really fun because, you're doing it on the road. I loved to have done it at PK Park, whatever, but we did it on the road. Hopefully fans celebrated there. We got on the bus right away afterwards. We showered first off in that football stadium, and they got pink walls in the locker rooms and stuff. That was something else. I'd never seen anything like that, but all the locker room walls were pink in that football stadium. And so we embraced the pink. We loved it. And then we left there. We got on the bus, came to Omaha. We checked into the hotel, got some rest that night, and then we showed up the next morning and we started our prep work again for what we have this week. So it's been ongoing. Every day we've had weights and practice, and then the staff has been very busy with video, trying to pick some sort of a tendency on the opponent and get our pitching and everything lined up for this tournament.
Now the pitching, Waz, I know that's always a question that every coach gets when you get into postseason. How do you attack it on the mound here this week?
Well, a week ago we had to bring everybody up a day because the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, deal, and that's not easy this time of year for guys. And without going into more detail on that, I'll just say this much: going up another day this week or keeping guys on that same type of a rotation, we could have kept them more or less. I think we could have kept them on the same rotation, and that's not a slam dunk, but more or less we could have kept them all on the same rotation. But then it doesn't play into the way this tournament is structured, and the tournament, the way it's structured, is a little quirky. I won't get too much into that because I don't really understand the best way of doing tournaments, but I know this much. I know we need to play well here. We've just instructed the boys 4-0. That's our goal here. We need 4 quality starters to be able to do this thing. I don't want to bring guys up and stuff like that and move guys around too much in the rotation. Ian Umlant's going to throw today. Grayson Grensel's going to throw tomorrow. Hopefully we can advance to the Saturday, Sunday where we'll get that, those 2 starters in place based off of how those guys are feeling and doing. But it's late in the season. These guys got some wear and tear on the arm. And moving them up another day is really not in play for us right now.
Michigan State, tell fans a little bit about the scout heading into this matchup.
Well, we played them a few weeks ago back at Michigan State, and the wind was howling in. It looks like today it might be the opposite. And so it's a beautiful day here in Omaha. Of course, the wind's blowing. We're in the Midwest. Looks like it's blowing out. We're just going to need to play well and pitch well. It's going to be like a cut and paste of what we've been doing. The mood in the locker room's been really good. Our prep work's been really good. My biggest fear is any sort of reading of the press clippings about what we do or don't need to do. And the press tells us, well, you don't need to win today. Well, yeah, we do. We need to win today. It might not be for the tournament reasons, because I guess in this tournament we really need to win tomorrow to advance to the Saturday, Sunday stuff. But what we do need to win for is the fact that we're trying to host regionals. We're trying to host super regionals, and so that's a really big deal. And so the tournament is one thing. What's in front of the Ducks is another, and what's in front of the Ducks right now is the fact that we got a chance to host and be a national seed, and that means we need to win today, so it is a must-win.
You read my mind, actually. That was how I was going to end this conversation with you, Waz. Just some keys to success with all that in mind. It is the start of postseason. You're supposed to just keep winning when you're in postseason.
Yeah, and I don't think these guys are in the mood to change anything like that. These guys have really come together. The locker room groove is really a good one. The mood around the clubhouse is really a good one. It seems like guys have trended in a positive direction with a couple of days with rest. It's been beneficial. Fans, you may not know this, but we've had some guys banged up, and you might not know it, and that's good. You don't need to know everything. So, nevertheless, we feel good about where we're at. We're looking forward to getting back on that ball field. It's been a few days, and playing again.
Thanks, Waz. Go get them.
Appreciate it. Go Ducks.
It's the Big Ten Coach of the Year, Mark Wazakowski, talking with Joey Mack. That'll be the Toyota Coach's Corner today on the baseball pregame show, as Oregon is going to play against Michigan State to open up Big Ten play today. Right now, the game before Oregon is USC versus Penn State. They are tied. I think that's through the 8th inning. So hopefully some runs in the 9th so that Oregon can start on time at 3 o'clock today. The game against Michigan State. Oregon also scheduled to play at 4 o'clock tomorrow against Nebraska, as the Ducks continue to jockey for positioning as a potential regional, and maybe even slated to be a team that could host a super regional if they advance past the regional round, if the Ducks can take care of business and expand on what is currently a 10-game winning streak for Oregon. It's postseason baseball, also postseason softball, and with teams this good, it's no shock that honors like Big Ten Coach of the Year and Big Ten First Team, and maybe even some national awards, like one on the softball diamond, get doled out. We'll tell you about which Duck got some new honors when we return after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too. Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, closing out Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. As we mentioned, going to break, Oregon softball freshman standout Riley McCoy earned some new honors coming down from the national office today. The NFCA, the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, named Riley McCoy as a top 3 freshman in the country. Riley McCoy has had a stellar season for Oregon that has featured a few long balls, hoping that we get to see Riley McCoy back on the field sooner rather than later as Oregon will navigate through their super regional round against Liberty starting tomorrow. Tomorrow game at 7 o'clock, then it's 4 o'clock on Saturday, and an if necessary game on Sunday for Missy Lombardi's squad as the Ducks try to work their way through the postseason as it continues and into potentially the Women's College World Series. Also for Oregon baseball, some news of note as we speak. In the 9th inning, Penn State just hit a home run to take a 2-1 lead. If they can shut down USC in the bottom half of the inning, then it looks like Oregon baseball will start just about on time today. It's a 3 o'clock scheduled first pitch and a 2:45 pregame show on the Oregon Sports Network. Joey Mack is in Omaha with the Oregon baseball team. Tomorrow on the show, we have more Oregon softball preview of the Super Regionals. Some players. We'll have Lindsey Grine, Paige Sinicki, Steph Maake, all for you on the show tomorrow to preview Oregon Super Regional against Liberty. We'll also have Oregon baseball in a full breakdown of today's game against Michigan State, some post-game from that, while also previewing what is going to be a critical game tomorrow against Nebraska. It's a full Diamond Sports weekend. We'll get you accustomed to all of it tomorrow. See you, everybody. Go Ducks.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe.